Hey guys, it's Sekaar, and today we're going to be going over another one of my Magic and Necromancer builds for the Ascending Tide chapter. Before we get started, I would really appreciate it if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not, all the above. So guys, without further ado, enjoy the video. Alright guys, let's get started. First, let's look at our character sheet. First thing first, we're going to be a Breton. I think Breton is personally the best class in the game right now when it comes to magic-based characters because you're going to get that reduced cost on all magic abilities. And with everybody being a Vampire Stage 3 for that tankiness, Breton is really just the way to go so that you can get some good sustain in because otherwise the Stage 3 would kind of be rough on your resources. So that's why I like Breton. And plus you get a line of recovery on it as well, so that's amazing. Our attributes are going to be 63 points into magic and 1 point into health. I had severe OCD with the way my health looked, so I needed to put 1 point into it, or it would have really been bugging me a lot. So that's why I did that. I have 2k extra health right now because I have imp bonus, so I don't want to pretend like, I don't have, I don't want to pretend like the build is exactly this. So it's going to be at about 30k HP on your build when you don't have imp buffs. So, I just want to be transparent with that. And then we're going to have the Lady as our Mundus to get that physical and spell resistance up as much as possible. Without this, we're going to be a little bit more squishy. So, if you feel like you're fine without this, you can put this into a little bit more damage or recovery. It's up to you. So, I personally like Lady on this. Like I said, Vamp Stage 3. This is going to get your tankiness up as much as possible. Have that Undeath passive is actually insane in this game nowadays. It's so meta. Please do that. It's worth it. I promise. And then Orzoga's Smoked Bear Haunch is going to be our food. So what this does is it increases your max health by 4,300 and your health recovery and stamina and magic recovery by 369. So this is pretty important. Getting your recovery up as much as possible is really gonna, allow you to just go actually balls out with your damage. It is so worth it. I love Orzogas. It's definitely the move. Then for let's do our gear next. Our gear is going to be okay, so don't judge me right away, guys. But we're going to be using Malabeth as our monster set. Look, without this, I felt like the healing was lacking a little bit. So this is why trust me, guys. I tried so much today to get this build working, and this is the best thing that I found. So guys, just trust me. Malabeth is going to be our monster set. We're going to be using it in our medium shoulder, and it's going to be impen. And before I even do any more, you see all of our traits are going to be, all of our enchants are going to be prismatic, to get our max health, max stam, and max magic up as high as possible. And then I'm still messed up on this part because I haven't been able to get one yet, but I'm using a light Malabeth helmet for now in reinforced. I want to get a heavy one to counteract that. I think heavy is just better on the helmet, and instead I have heavy Sabatons of Wretched Vitality. I want to reverse those so that I get light legs, light feet, and then a heavy helmet. I think it's just better. It'll be a better situation that way. You'll get better resources, better resistances. Trust me, that's the way to go. So go with a heavy helmet for Malabeth and a medium shoulder, and your helmet is still going to be reinforced. Chest piece is going to be Wretched Vitality and Heavy in the reinforced trait. What Wretched Vitality does is it gives you that magic recovery, that stamina recovery, that weapon and spell damage, and then while in combat, applying a major buff or debuff grants you, a bunch of recovery. So basically, on this build, if I hit Race Against Time, it activates that, and there's no cooldown on it. So whenever you hit that ability, it's constantly being refreshed. So that is an insane, disgusting amount of magic and stamina recovery. So between that and Orzogas, you literally do not need to put any other resources into recovery, and you will be set, I promise you. And then I forgot to talk to you about what Malabeth does. So this is going to give you max health, and then when you take damage, you have a 10% chance to create a beam that steals health over 6 seconds to the attacker. And then while the beam's on, you gain major vitality, increasing the healing you receive by 16%. And then it is just absolutely so good. I love it so much. This is going to give you a disgusting amount of just passive healing just by being in the middle of a fight. So this is why I like this build. This set. There's so many good monster sets right now, but this is the best one that I found for this build personally. And then we did the chest already. Our sash is going to be light wretched vitality in impen. Our hands are going to be light wretched vitality in impen. Legs are going to be heavy wretched vitality in reinforced to get that armor up as much as possible. And right now I'm wearing heavy wretched vitality, but like I said, I want to switch it so that I'm wearing a heavy helmet, and then I'll do light feet. Our jewelry is going to be Draugr. All of it's going to be golded out, and it's going to be 2 infused and 1 swift. And then we're going to have all spell damage glyphs on there as well. What Draugr is going to do is going to give you max magic, offensive penetration, magic recovery, and then dealing direct damage to an enemy places a ghostly curse on your enemy for 6 seconds. Cursed enemies take an extra 617 extra damage from all your damage abilities, and it can only occur every 9 seconds. So guys, this is going to give you so much extra damage just by placing dots on people. You know, just like the different amount of damage abilities that we have, it's going to really shine on this build. I'll explain a little bit more when we're at the skills part, exactly what I mean. Draugr Inferno Staff in the charge trait with a shock glyph on it. That way we're going to be getting those status effects applied by 480% more often. And then our back bar is going to be Vadistron Perfected Ice Staff in the defending trait. So this, I think, is one of the best parts about this build. It really gives you a lot more damage with the beam that you put on them. What Vadistron does is the perfected part gives you the offensive pen, and then the 2-piece gives you the casting weakness of elements on a target within 15 meters of you. It causes a surge of elemental energy to tether. Basically, you cause a tether between you and your enemy, and it does damage to them. And with Draugr, it does more damage to them. So there you go. You know, that's the build in a nutshell. And then our skills are going to look like this. Let's look at our front bar first. Our front bar, we're going to be using Flame Clench. This is going to be your CC on this build. It's kind of annoying when you're just up against perma blockers, but besides that, I absolutely love Flame Clench. I spent the other day just literally on Alessia Bridge just flinging people off. It was the funniest thing I've had. It happened to me in so long. I was having an absolute blast. So Flame Clench is so much fun, and plus just CCing your enemy in the middle of a fight is a great way to just make sure that you're taking control of the fight as often as you can. Degeneration, this is going to be your source of major sorcery, so it's going to increase your spell damage by 20% for 24 seconds. And you're also going to get a nice dot on them, which is increased with your Draugr, by the way, just saying. Crushing Shock, you're going to be hitting this so hard on the enemy. This is going to be your main spammable on the build. With Draugr, this hits like an absolute truck. I love it. In my opinion, Draugr and Crushing Shock are just a match made in heaven. I love the combo that the both of them provide. Blast Bones, it hits so hard. This ability is actually nuts. Keep this up as often as you can in the middle of a fight, and you will just absolutely just take control of most 1v1s, I promise. And then I like Summoner's Armor on this build. This is going to help you with your sustain, but with the reduced cost to your Blast Bones, Skeletal Mage, and Spirit Menders by 15%. But the most important part about this is that it's going to give you your Major Resolve, so it's going to increase your physical and spell resistance by 6k for 20 seconds, so that's important. And then Dawnbreaker. I personally hate Dawnbreaker so much. I miss so often, even if I'm standing in front of somebody. I am mostly using this for the weapon and spell damage, or that way you can get it from the Fighters Guild passives. But I guess it's worthy every now and then. But I find this skill so annoying. I miss so often for no reason. It's so stupid. And then our back bar is going to look like this. Race Against Time. Whenever you're in combat, this is going to proc your Wretched Vitality, so it's going to increase your recovery just from that. But on top of that, this is going to be your snare removal, and it's also going to increase your critical damage by 10%. Intensive Mender. If you feel like the healing is really high on this build, I would maybe go with the other morph, but personally, I think Intensive Mender is just such an insanely good heal. It's just so broken. Like, the amount of health it gives you is so good. Every 2 seconds, 8.3k health. Yeah, I'll take that 100%. That's so much healing. Braided Tether. This is I like this version over Mortal Coil. We have enough stam recovery as is, so Mortal Coil isn't really necessary. So if you're playing with somebody else, this is so helpful to your allies as well. And you put that on any corpse that you get put down. So like an intensive mender leaves a corpse, or like a blast bones leaves a corpse, or even your summoner's armor leaves a corpse. So the way to activate your corpses is just have your timer go down by half and then reapply it. So summoner's armor is a 20-second buff. At the 10-second mark, you can reapply it, and it'll give you a corpse on the ground. You know, I don't know if you guys know that, but you know, the more you know. Resistance flesh. This is going to be your burst heal. This is going to, if you're in case you're in trouble, this is what you're using as your heal. I honestly feel like on this build between braided tether, intensive mender, and then your Malabeth procking, this is only in those oh dang kind of situations when you are in trouble. I wouldn't really spam this any other time. Elemental susceptibility. Now, I'm using this morph of the other one because I don't really need any more magic recovery or any kind of, magic steal. The other morph gives you magic back, and I just don't need that with the amount of recovery I have between Wretched and Orzogas. I just don't need that. So having this on the build is insane. It's going to proc your Vatishron, first of all, and also you're going to get Major Breach on the enemy for 1 minute, reducing their physical and spell resistance by 6k, so that's amazing. And then on top of that, every 6 seconds while this ability persists, the enemy is afflicted with a burning, chilled, or concussion status effect. So you're just basically stacking status effects as often as you possibly can on the enemy. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. And then don't make fun of me, guys, for going Goliath mode, but it's so much fun. Don't knock it till you try it. I was one of those people that was just, I would judge it right away. But trust me, guys, it's so much fun. And plus, with Draugr going too, you're hitting so hard in this thing. It's so fun. And then just seeing you just go big, and then having your enemies just get so mad, and just seeing you just almost dead, and then just getting all your health back. It's the funniest thing. I love it so much. And it does a lot of damage, I promise, guys. So I use this on the back bar. Honestly, if you're a real Chad, you'll do this on the front bar, then just do Temporal Guard on the back bar. That's a real Chad move right there. And then our champion points. Our 4 blue slottables are going to be Biting Aura, Ironclad, Master at Arms, and Duelist Rebuff. Honestly, since I have mostly single target abilities like my Crushing Shock or something, I should probably switch to Deadly Aim instead of Biting Aura. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Alright, guys. Deadly Aim. And then, Boundless Vitality as our red slottable. Fortified, Pain's Refuge, and Celerity to get that speed up and all that stuff. Green Tree isn't really necessary, most of the stuff. Mostly just, Breakfall is really important. And then Rationer, Orzogas is expensive, so use Rationer. Liquid Efficiency for potion cooldown, or for potion consumption, and then Gifted Rider in case you have a slow mount. And that's the build. All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed. If you do, please liking the video helps me so much. It really does. I know it's not much. I know that everybody says that, but it really helps me in the algorithm. So please like the video. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I really do enjoy this build. I've been having a lot of fun on MagNecro lately, and yeah, I really have a good time on this. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video. Later.